that happens in sequestration and defense cuts, but Congressman Whitman, that's not going to happen, right? All our ass go. There we go. But on the chance that Congressman Whitman doesn't get it all preserved for us, we do need to bring in new assets, and that's what I talk about every day. This is a huge opportunity for us to take it to the next level. As you know, Fort Monroe is the largest fully moated masonry and earthen fort in the entire United States of America. It was constructed in the aftermath of the War of 1812. It represents 4 centuries of military strategy and technology. This story is told in the Casement Museum, which will continue to thrive with the National Park Service as its next-door neighbor. Robert E. Lee lived in Building 17, the present site of the National Park Service office, and helped design and construct the stone fortification. Jefferson Davis was imprisoned in a fort casement that you can visit today. Harriet Tubman spent time here after the Civil War, and Edgar Allan Poe was stationed here as a young soldier. The Battle of the Ironclads took place right off these shores. Folks, you can't hear that story anywhere else in the United States of America. Nowhere. In fact, I was here on Saturday for the key lane of the JFK, the brand new aircraft carrier. It was a spectacular ceremony, but I did stand with Joseph Kennedy III, and I had to explain to young Joe that they like to talk about this little picnic that they had up there in Plymouth Rock or something like that in 1619. I reminded him they like to call that the birthplace of America. 1607 here in Jamestown in the Commonwealth of Virginia, not the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We thank them for their assistance later with Concord, Lexington, and all that stuff. But none of that history compares to the story the fort tells of the beginning of the end of slavery in the United States. So much of our African American history has been lost and untold. But this monument gives us a unique opportunity to share this story with visitors from all over the world. The first enslaved Africans in the British colonies were brought to this peninsula in 1619. Among these earliest African residents were Anthony and Isabella. Their son, William Tucker, was the first child of African ancestry to be born in the United States of America. In 1861, 3 brave men, Frank Baker, James Townsend, and Shepard Mallory, escaped enslavement and rowed a skiff to Old Point Comfort to seek asylum. General Benjamin Butler declared these men contraband of war. This inspired tens of thousands of African Americans throughout the South to seek self-emancipation across the Union lines. The contraband decision played a pivotal role by providing the legal and military precedents for the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863 and the abolition of the institution of slavery by the 13th Amendment in the Constitution in 1865. This complicated history of Freedom Fortress is an inspiring legacy of both hope and courage that we have a duty to honor. I look forward to working with the Park Service, the Fort Monroe Authority, and all the stakeholders to make sure that this fort is properly and carefully managed while still focusing on economic sustainability. We have a tremendous opportunity to build the new Virginia economy right here and attract residents, tourists, businesses, and investment. Together, we can write a new chapter for the fort and at the same time, preserve its past. Fort Monroe has been an important part of our history for 400 years, and I look forward personally to being part of the next 400 years here at Fort Monroe. I'm not going away. Thank you very much.